Hi teacher, we are group number 6 and today we are going to present our element number 1. Okay, first of all we choose a listening lesson plan and it is really important to know that we have a specific procedure to complete this kind of lessons. First of all we have the pre-listening stage, then the while listening stage and finally the post-listening stage. Here we have the pre-listening stage, which are the introductory activities of the lesson. These are a kind of introduction to the topic focusing on key vocabulary and are really useful to pre-teach important vocabulary of the lesson. To continue, we have the while listening stage, in which we have the main activities that we are going to develop in the class. And these are listening activities which develop the listening sub-skills. Sub-skills such as the listening for specific information or listening for details. Finally, we have the post-listening stage, in which we are going to find the post-task activities of the lesson plan. These are series of listening activities that help to develop the listening sub-skills that I mentioned before, and these come from the more general listenings to the more detailed listening.
The topic for this lesson plan is a trip to the zoo. Aim: to develop students' ability to listen and extract information from a difficult, authentic listening material. Then we have the subsidiary aims. The first one is to develop students' vocabulary, and the second one is to develop students' intensive listening. The anticipated problem for this lesson plan is that students don't know the meaning and pronunciation of some vocabulary words, so the teacher gives students some flashcards about the vocabulary and they practice the correct pronunciation and intonation. The level for this lesson plan is B1 Intermediate, and the age is 16 and 17 years old. For this lesson plan, we're going to use different materials. For example, worksheets, audio, authentic materials, and pencil. And the time for this lesson plan is 45 minutes. This lesson focuses on developing students' knowledge of animals. It helps them to develop their listening skills and vocabulary. In addition, their ability to complete and recognize while listening to an audio. The activities to develop listening skill are tags of true and false, writing, and correct answers.
So let's start with the first stage, the pre-listening activities. This has a time of 10 minutes. In step 1, teacher asks students the following questions. Have you ever gone to zoos? What do you know about them? In step 2, teacher shows students some pictures about animals at zoo in a PowerPoint presentation. For example, macaw, Burmese python, camel, alligator, wombats, tiger, lemurs, tortoises, giraffes, zebra, and rhino. In step 3, students identify the vocabulary of animals at a zoo. Once the students have seen the pictures, the teacher asks students to get in pairs to complete a worksheet that contains the vocabulary of animals. Step 4. Students have to write the correct name of the animals below each picture. Here we have the answer sheet. Finally, in step 5, teacher checks the answers with the students.
Okay, let's continue with the stage 2, the listening activity. Here it's gonna take a time of 20 minutes. So first the students are going to receive an audio about animal zoo tour that talks about the greatest animals in Australia. In addition, the students are going to receive a statement which contains questions with true or false, and the students will listen to the audio twice and complete the worksheet. As you can see, here are the answer sheets. And to continue in the step number 2, the teacher asks students if they have any question. Then the students have to answer and correct the bad and the good answers with the teacher. Then in the step 3, the students listen again, and then they have to ask different questions related to the Australia Zoo tour. Here again you have the answer sheet. And finally, the teacher is going to select randomly any student in order to share the answers with the whole class.
Okay, in the stage number 3, we have that is post listening activity. For this activity, we have 15 minutes. Okay, in the step 1, we have activity that is find someone who, and you can see here is the worksheet. Here, we have to know how the topic relates to their own lives, and finally give opinions. Thanks to this activity, the students will be able to demonstrate their knowledge gained from the listening for the development of the other skills such as speaking and writing. In step 2, the students have to find anyone in the class to ask this question. After they have to complete the worksheet and finally share the answer. As step 3, we have that the teacher has to provide feedback if it is necessary with the students. This lesson plan is an individual because the vocabulary and all the listening activities are not going to be used in the future lesson plans. As you can see here, we have our lesson plan with all the activities that you made in class. And finally, the bibliography. Thank you.